A warm welcome to the Landmark Hotel here in London. It has been a busy old morning, but the good news is we have a cracking fight coming your way on May the 27th. That is because Chris Billam-Smith is getting his world title shot. His dreams are coming true when he faces Lawrence Okolie. The Vitality Stadium, his home football stadium in Bournemouth, Johnny. This is set to be an absolute cracker, and one that you didn't think was going to be made.
No,
when I asked you after the Lawrence Okolie fight,
we shut you down, didn't we?
Think it was
shut you
down.
Nah, it's never going to. Because Chris is in touching distance of the world title. Yeah. Richard Atpol's in touching distance of the world title. And I thought these guys would all pick one up each and then get on with it. But one, I've got to give it to Lawrence Okolie for actually going into the Lion's Den and fighting Chris in Bournemouth. Now, how much of a lift can any fighter want? How much of a lift can any challenger want to say you're coming to fight me? And the thing is, familiarity breeds contempt. He knows Lawrence knows him. Shane knows Lawrence's strengths and his weaknesses.
Well, that's because they were gym mates, and that was kind of the sticking point that you thought originally that it wouldn't get made.
I thought they were mates.
Exactly. Well, I think they are mates. That's the thing. How do you think that will go down and affect things?
Well, you know what? Lawrence is a world champion, so just because he's his mate, he's not going to give him his world title. Chris could have done it the other way and chased one of the champions, but he feels that he can beat Lawrence. So therefore, I think this is a good fight because they know each other. I think it's a good fight because Lawrence doesn't know the development of Chris over the year or so, what they've been working on in the gym. And Shane would have been saying, Lawrence is good at this, he's bad at that, watch this, what that. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a really good fight.
Because the two must have sparred so many rounds together when they're in the gym. Obviously, Lawrence isn't there anymore. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because how many times have we been in this situation where they've done that, they've sparred, they know each other so well, and you can almost be too familiar with one another.
But as a fighter, you always want to be world champion. So I believe Chris will go out there and do his best, do his utmost. Lawrence will be in the who needs him club if he loses this world title, because his style is so unorthodox and because he's so dangerous with that punch power. Nobody want to fight him unless they have to. So they have to fight because he's a world champion. So you've got to defend his title. If he hasn't got a title, he's going to struggle. So therefore, he's going to go out there and thinking, I'm fighting for my living here. This is for my livelihood, and I've got your number. So I just think it's a good fight. I actually love the idea. So I saw it, I thought, yes, great shout.
Yeah, I think we all did. We're sort of licking our lips at this one, aren't we? Lawrence Okolie, a couple of weeks ago, we saw him take on David Light. He'd been out of the ring for about a year. What do you think Chris will have made of his performance, though? And where will he see the flaws in Lawrence Okolie that he can sort of capitalise on?
I think Chris will pressure him from a comfortable distance to get the shots off, to not smother his own work. I think inside that long reach of Lawrence, it causes problems for Lawrence because Lawrence can't get the shots off. I think Chris is familiar with that. He knows if he stands off him, he's going to get hit, he's going to get hurt, and probably get put down. So he understands the distance that he needs to make up. He understands the style, the pressure, the pace he has to put on Lawrence, which is why this familiarity that he's got will actually do him a massive favour.
Familiarity, I mean, I think the two of them were just outside, and you can see it. They were just like, all right, mate, hello, and we're not used to seeing that.
I had to box my mate once, and we actually, I thought to my head, I know I can do him, so do I go on points, or do I try and take him out? And I thought, I've got to take him out, because if he catches me...
How do you do that? How do you separate that? Okay, you really just have to just completely switch off.
I think it was my third or fourth defence in my world title against out in Germany, and I just thought, you know what, I like him. Me and Rudy May get on well. I use him as a sparring partner, but I know he's dangerous. I've got to get rid. So motion's out the window. You've just got to get the job done.
Let's just take a pause from that, because there has been some other big breaking news this morning. That, of course, is concerning Amir Khan, who has been banned for 2 years for violating anti-doping. Amir Khan is handed a 2-year ban from all sport after testing positive for a prohibited substance. The positive test occurred after Kell Brook. That was a fight last year. The ban is deemed to have started on April the 6th in 2022. Amir Khan has accepted the violation, but said he had not intentionally ingested the substance. Now, this is a story that is ever evolving. We found out this morning, Johnny. What was your initial reaction to the news?
So, as you were reading it off your phone, that's what I was doing on the train coming down. So, my knowledge of this is like everybody else's. Absolutely no idea. But as a fighter, an ex-fighter, I I hate this kind of cloud over our sport. And we need to do something to make sure this doesn't happen in our sport. My argument is the same thing. The board can say to everybody in the fighter's team, if he fails, you all fail. And I believe that will eradicate this a lot. But I just think I'm gutted. But we can only speculate. We don't know anything. The news
so
can
early
change.
days, isn't it, in the story? But I guess the question is, how do you move forward in this? How does it move forward?
Again, in my opinion, this is just in my head. I'm thinking if the board said you were fighting and everybody on your team, you were stepping into a fight, right? Everybody in the team want your names, right? If he fails, you all fail. He gets a ban, you all get a ban. So therefore, you're not going to want to just let yourself down and your public down. You're not going to want to let your mates down as well, your team down. And there's a big responsibility. And people will not turn a blind eye. This is what I think could be done, should be done, and it will actually cut this lot about. So could the
good come out of this be almost like a precedent being set from this? Do you think that could happen?
Without a doubt. I think, and regardless, the public know. There's no secrets. I boxed 3 drug cheats, and I beat them. The biggest feeling to me was, drugs don't make you a better fighter. You know, and regardless of what's happened with Amir Khan and Cal Brook, Amir lost. So drugs don't make you a better fighter. They may make you stronger, they may make you faster, they may give you some extra energy, but it doesn't make you a technical boxing Einstein. So again, to me the message is, you know what, it doesn't. Guys that attempted to get involved in this, think twice. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing for your reputation, to the sport's reputation, to your family, your friends, and your team's reputation.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the story is ever evolving. We will keep you up to date as and when we get the information. Back to the big world title fight, though. Like I said, Chris Billam-Smith and Lawrence Okolie outside, they are all friends. Do you think we will get any kind of little bits of beef today? You know, you think it's just going to be very sort of civil
I think respectful? if there's any bad feeling, it'll be with the trainers. Because fight it's a brotherhood and sisterhood now. But that's what it is. And so now Lawrence knows that Shane has to tell Chris his strengths and his weaknesses. He's got to go to Chris and say, right, he's good at this, he's bad at that. He's got to devise a way for him to beat him. So if there's any beef, it won't be with Chris, madly enough. It'll be with the coach. But I don't think they will. I think it's about confidence. It's about you've got to have that arrogance as a fighter, and you've got one hungry fighter in Chris Billam-Smith that wants to be world champion, and he's willing to put everything to one side, friendship and everything, to get that title. And you've got one fighter that wants to stay champion. So he is not doing any favours to anybody because he's got to make a living. He's been at the fight game too long. You know, he's just come back again. He's got a bit of stick from that fight. Now he needs momentum.
And that's what Chris will know, won't he? And also, Chris has got, I guess, the advantage of fighting at home. This is something that he's spoken about, he's dreamed about, not only fighting at the Vitality Stadium, but a world title shot as well. It's kind of his big opportunity to grab, you know, the big prize. How much do you think that will be an advantage for him going into this one?
Massive.
Yeah.
We went down and Bournemouth is great.
Oh, it's great.
The fan base
is fast turning into one of our favourites.
Yeah, man. I actually, and he was fighting my friend Isaac Chamberlain, so I wanted him to win, but I didn't want him to win because Isaac's my friend. But I thought I want to come back to Bournemouth again. You know, the fans were brilliant, the atmosphere was brilliant. We could have been anywhere in the world, and Chris was such a local hero. So to get a world title fight in where you live, so your fans and your friends and your family can all get involved and be on that journey with you. You can't get any bigger lift. And when a fight's hard and you got everybody behind you in the crowd, that lifts you. Now, this is a big test for Lawrence going into the Lion's Den, where he's going to get booed, he's going to get jeered, he's going to get everything thrown at him verbally. And so that'll be a test of that.
Exactly. It will be a big test of that, because I think in the post-fight interview after his fight against David Light, he wasn't super happy, was he, with his performance? And then there seemed to be a few things that he wanted to sort of turn around going into his next fight. And it's a big one, this one, because it is going very much into the Lion's Den, like you said. And someone that he knows very, very well.
Yeah. And it's a statement fight. It's a statement from Lawrence Okolie to say, you gave me stick in my last fight, I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm capable of doing. And he's happy to go to Bournemouth. He's happy to take the jeers and take the bulls. And some fighters, you can play the villain or a hero. right now he's going to be the villain, and he knows that, and he's going to play that part well as we get closer to the fight.
Let's just also talk about the other fight, Mikel Lawal against Isaac Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Another brilliant cruiserweight fight, this
It's
one.
a great bill.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
How are you looking forward to that one?
Great bill. Again, you guys don't tell me anything.
Do you just wish you were fighting now because of being
I do. But one thing I know, you guys, the team we're working with, you don't tell me anything because I can't keep a secret. So when I found out, I thought, yes, this is just time after time. The cruiserweights are kings again. And so I think Isaac and Lawal, I think it's a good fight. Isaac's got to get his act together because he's had chances, he's had opportunities. He's boxed Lawrence, he's been in there, he's boxed Chris. Now, he's got to get his act together because if he doesn't, opportunity will not knock again.
And he last boxed Chris last July, wasn't it? That was again in Bournemouth, and he suffered the broken orbital bone. He's not boxed since last July, so I guess that again is in his head that he wants to sort of get back in the ring and get back some momentum.
So my worry for Isaac was this: he had sparring partner mentality. He sparred massively with Deontay Wilder for quite a few years, and he was happy to come second place in an exchange, and that's a habit that fighters. If you've been a sparring partner with the top, it's a habit you've got to get out of. So when he was in with Chris, I saw that. Now he's got to take ownership of his experiences. Experience gives you wisdom, good and bad. Now he's got to use that wisdom and make it work for him. He can't be happy to be second place. He's got to think, you know what, I'm going to go out there and give it my all, and I'm going to be... And so this is a good fight, and a winnable fight for him.
Has he kind of got to have that nothing-to-lose mentality?
It's nothing to lose. It is nothing, because if he loses, where's he go? Is he going to wait for a softer opportunity for a British title, or is he just going to be an area champion? It depends on his ambitions, and he's got to think, I have sparred with one of the biggest punches in the world, not just once, not just twice, on many, many occasions. That is not for nothing.
And of course, Lawal's putting his British title on the line as well, and we know in that how great of fights they produce as well. Yeah,
and you know what? Having the Lonsdale belt is such. Of all the belts I've got in the house, that to me is the best. That to me stands out, and to have it even temporary, to me, I just think to box for a British title, you see the best of fighters come out. And Lawal knows that's a tough fight. He can punch, he can dig, he's got to dig in. This is his biggest test, as far as I'm concerned, in his professional career. So I think for the British title, what a brilliant fight.
And it was in Bournemouth as well. What do you think it will come down to in that fight?
Skills.
Yeah.
And I think skills will pay the bills in this one. And it's not a secret that I rate Lawrence, but Lawrence is got to answer some questions for himself. He has the skill. If he has a sparring partner mentality, he'll lose. He's got to use his skill, his punch power, his experience to pull it through. Otherwise, Lawal will take him out because he can punch. You know, and he's a confident fighter.
It's one of those cards, isn't it? If you are a cruiserweight, you want to be on this one. You want a piece of this one, don't you, Johnny?
Yeah, without a doubt. You want a piece of this, and you know what? It's like Brendan always said, you can't get in trouble for jealousy and envy. And I look at these guys fighting, I'm thinking, God, I wish I was fighting now.
Yeah, but there must be a part of you. There must be a part of you that is pretty proud now, because it really is getting the limelight shone on it that it absolutely deserves.
It does. The little heavyweights. That's what they are. The little heavyweights. And I think now, you know, the recognition is coming. Then you if you're in a division, you've got to have a dance partner. So right now, these guys, that our top three cruiserweights, are in touching distance of a world title, if not world champions. How proud is that? You know, other world champions want to come to the UK because they see their fan base. They want the big money here. You know, they'll outprice themselves. There's so many fights that can happen here in the UK because our fan base is ridiculous.
Well, Lawrence Okolie, though, putting his world title on the line, how much pressure do you think he will be feeling? Do you think he is feeling the pressure?
Yeah. So now he's got to take on a persona of being arrogant, because he knows he's not loved. He knows he got a lot of stick from his last fight. He knows his style is an acquired taste. So now, and he also knows that if he loses, his career he will no longer have the option of saying, right, I'm going to fight here, I'm going to fight there. Because he's so powerful, because he's so unorthodox, people are not going to want to fight him. I've been in that Who Needs Him club. It's horrible, it's not a nice place to be, and it's lonely.
But for Lawrence Okolie, he's so laid back normally, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think we will see that sort of switch in him, that he will sort of, like you say, maybe a bit of arrogance that he needs? Do you think we will see that in him?
I'd be surprised if we don't. And he needs it because he can't afford to slip up. He needs it. It's that simple. And if he wants to stay on top, if his ambitions are to move up to heavyweight or to unify the titles, he needs it. So if his ambitions are there, well, he's got to get his act in order.
And what does he need to tweak from his last fight with David Lai? I think everyone's piling in now to get their seats, and we're probably in the worst place possible, aren't we? Who decided to have a studio right in the middle of the walkway? I don't know, but yeah.
I'll back him up. I think. What was the question again?
What does he need to tweak from his fight against David Lai?
He needs to create that distance so he can get that punch power off. He's actually not bad at fighting on the inside, but when he's on the inside, he needs to make sure his hands are free to let those shots go. So when he's on the inside, but his hands are tied, so he can't let the shots go. His plus side is his punch power. Create that distance. When he can create that distance and keep a fighter where you need him, that's where you'll get the results that he's after. He looked like he was stuck in between.
But do you think that could be because he's linked up with a new trainer, and sometimes that takes time to bed in? I think we even spoke about on the night how sometimes when you link up with a new trainer, you'll obviously be able to talk about this better than I can. You almost need to take a step backwards before you can go forward, because it takes time to bed in. I think even Sugar Hill said to you it would take a few fights for him to feel settled.
3 fights it'll take for that to mould, to gel. And then you'll start to see it, and so you've got to be patient.
Why is that? Is that because you're sort of learning the new ways of their coaching, or is it because you need to undo things that you've done with your previous coach?
You need to understand their language. You're learning new moves, so you've got to make sure your balance is right, your balance is correct. You've got to do things so it's instinctive. You don't need someone to shout it out to you. So the stuff you're learning from your coach, when he shouts a shot, when he shouts a combination, you've got to know what it is in a blink of an eye. So it's like learning a new language,
which you didn't have because you stayed with your trainer for pretty much your whole career.
Yeah.
But sometimes switching it up, there can be benefits, can't there? But like I say, it can take time to sort of bed in.
The switching up, the benefit is the fresh start. That's the switching it up, like thinking, right, I've got to get this right. I've got to make sure I've got it all in, get in order. So that's the benefits. But apart from that, I don't really feel that. That wasn't my style.
Oh, apparently they're still not ready. I thought everyone gone quiet, so we were about to go down. But no, it can take time.
It can take time, and I think with it taking, I'm trying to whisper now because I don't want to run any fighters down. It can take time because in doing that, when that gels, when you're comfortable with a coach, then you can execute. When you find that right coach and you're comfortable with him, you get the results straight away.
What do you think we're going to see up there today?
I think we're going to see respect. I think we're going to see manners. I think we're going to see. Our sport can be like this, but I do know Bournemouth is going to be an unbelievable night. Yeah,
when we've been down there before, it's been an unbelievable crowd. And just imagine at the Vitality Stadium what it's going to be like as well. It is going to be pretty special, I think, isn't it? It could be one of those nights to remember.
The fans, it's something to look forward to. Yeah. What a time. I think it's close to the bank holiday weekend as well, which again, I think, it's not just going to be fans, it's going to be a lot of tourists as well. What an attraction.
I believe that it's Lawrence that's not quite ready just yet. Maybe that could be a little psychological thing.
He's probably doing his hair. I think he's doing his hair.
You have the same problem, don't you?
Yeah, but he's around here somewhere. But again, keep him waiting. Keep him waiting. I'm king of the hill. Why not?
You think that could be part of the reason, a bit of a psychological kind of, I'll just keep you sitting there waiting.
What? Warfare starts a long time before you get in the ring. It starts even before these events here. You've got to start doing little things to get in your opponent's head to make him think more about you than about yourself. So if it is that, I get that, I see that. I think Tyson Fury is probably one of the best at doing that kind of mental warfare. But if it isn't that, he's not left a building. So
for Okolie though, this is probably the best move for him in terms of momentum. He needs to be getting back in there soon, because some people might say, oh gosh, this is quite soon off stable. Like, this is exactly what he needs. He's been out for a year and he needs to get that momentum. He needs to be active and needs to be out. So credit him for taking it.
But I'd love that. I'd love to say, right, I'm back in again. I'm fight fit. I can taper down a bit and step it on again. I'd love that. This is what you want. This is what every fighter wants, to know, right, I'm back in again.
And for him, he's probably thinking, this is my opportunity to really show you what I can do. Do you think?
A chance to show off, a chance to say, this is why I'm world champion. And he's in a position where he's still a developing fighter, but at the top of the tree in his division.
Here he comes. All smiles. I think we're going to see a lot of smiles up there because, like I say, they're friends and they're relaxed and they're cool. I think we are just about ready. Andy has given me the nod. So let's hand you over to Andy Scott for the introductions.
Well, a very warm welcome and a good afternoon to everyone here at the Landmark Hotel. Today, we can confirm that Lawrence Okolie will defend his WBO Cruiserweight World title against Chris Billam-Smith in Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium, the home of AFC Bournemouth, on May 27th, live on Sky Sports. Sometimes fights just make sense, even if for a long time you think that there's no possibility that they can ever happen. Sometimes it's these fights that take us by surprise. Two friends, two former gym mates, now pitted against each other, and at least for the next 7 weeks as enemies. One man in the middle of this storm, Shane McGuigan, quite rightly regarded as one of the brightest trainers in world boxing, goes from guiding a fighter to the very top of the sport to devising a game plan to bring him down. What's not to like? Lawrence Okolie, thank you for joining us, Lawrence. Better late than never. Undoubtedly king of the cruiserweight division domestically, the proud owner of the WBO belt, and a very difficult man to beat. Chris Billam-Smith, the challenger, with a whole army of fans behind him, ready to make his dream a reality. Thousands will pack into that stadium to hopefully see their hometown hero become a legend. Lawrence will have other ideas. This division is red hot domestically, so congratulations to Ben Shalom and Boxer for matching two of their own against each other. Very quick word with Ben Shalom. As I say, you had all the fighters. We don't always see promotional stablemates matched against each other, but you had no hesitation putting these two together in a mammoth summer clash.
I think the fighters demanded it. To be honest, we didn't see this one coming either. I have to thank AFC Bournemouth. Their support has been incredible. To start with Chris Billam-Smith for the first time in Bournemouth under 12 months ago. The journey's been incredible. So to actually realise the dream at a stadium for a world title fight, but not just any world title fight, the domestic world title against Lawrence Okolie, who, for us, activity is key. He signed for us to be in the big nights, the big fights, and what a statement. 7 weeks after his last fight, he's going to step into the Lion's Den in Bournemouth and to defend his world title against Chris Billam-Smith. I think I have to thank both fighters and both teams for allowing us to put on this fight, because it doesn't happen often in boxing, and they're both putting it all on the line, and we get to see an incredible story come together, an incredible fight, and to be honest, something that no one saw coming.
Can also see Mikhail Awal and Isaac Chamberlain at the top table. Gents, just be patient, we will come to you. But let's get straight to our main event fighters. The champion. I'll give the floor to you first. One or two eyebrows raised, let's be honest. In the modern era, people at the top level, they don't tend to box that regular, maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, if we're being really, really lucky. Certainly not just 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So why now? Why get straight back in?
Yeah, for me, obviously, thank everyone for being here. Thank you to Isaac and Mike Lawal as well, also been on the undercard. And shout out to Chris Billam-Smith as well. I think for me, I had a year out of the ring for various different reasons, and I came over to Boxer to be active. I think I enjoy fighting against the best people, and I'm not one of those fighters that talks about it. I'm one of the fighters that goes out and makes it happen. So for me, it's a quick turnaround from what people are used to, but I'm back a week after my last fight, no injuries, no damage, so why not get back into camp, keep the weight down, build on my last fight, build on the fitness, and keep it active.
So that is the key. No injuries. You can confirm injury-free. So
Yeah.
straight back into the gym.
Yeah, it was just a 12-rounder. Do you know what I mean? Just a little 12 rounds, shake off the cobwebs, and then now we're ready to put in what needs to be put in. It was a good learning lesson for me as well. My first fight under Sugar Hill, dealing with a different training camp, different dynamics. So it gives us a lot to work with for this next fight.
The quote on the press conference, on the press release, was pretty incredible. Chris, I love you, but I'm going to KO you.
I guess that's the aim, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Chris is someone who, as a person, I respect. Do you know what I mean? I know him well. I love how he is with his family. I love him as a person. But I'm here to actually make a statement. And almost unfortunate because I like Chris, but ultimately he's a European champion, Commonwealth, British champion, ranked highly in the world, and that's the type of fights that I want to be in, so we have to do what we have to do.
Chris, did you have any reservations? We know how desperately you wanted to box at the stadium. That was delivered. That was the only day the other champions weren't available. I think for a long time you didn't necessarily want to box Lawrence when he was training with Shane McGuigan. As soon as he stepped away from that, did you think that's a fight that could happen? And have you got any reservations about boxing a friend in Lawrence, even if he is an enemy now for the next 2 months?
No, thank you all for being here, and thank you for the opportunity. It's a fight, obviously, like you said, the other champions we tried to get, and boxing politics and shenanigans got in the way. So then I think we were on a call before Lawrence's last fight and mentioned it. And then, fair play to him for taking the fight. And yeah, it's obviously when you're in the same gym, you never expect it to happen, and you never expect people to leave the gym. But obviously he's left now, and here we are. What
are your feelings towards him at this current time?
That is right now. We haven't got a fight right now, but I like Lawrence. He's a funny guy, but he's got someone I want, and that's what it is. It's business.
How many rounds do you think, between the two of you, if you could agree on a figure, how many rounds do you think that you sparred, and what were those sparring sessions like?
I think we probably did over 300 rounds, something around that. Yeah, they were learning curves for both of us. We both learnt a lot sparring. We both built ourselves up to world-level fighters by doing plenty of other work as well, but also the work we did with each other. And that's why this makes for an exciting fight, No one that's boxed Lawrence has done as many rounds with him as I have.
You obviously respect him, but do you fear him?
No, I don't fear anyone. I think I've shown that through my career. We've tried to just fight every champion there is, and Lawrence is one of them. And now we're here. And I wouldn't be fighting him if I feared him. But no, yeah, like you said, I respect him, but no fear.
What about the stadium and Bournemouth? I think Ben will agree with me that certainly a couple of our best nights since Sky Sports and Boxer started working with each other have been the Bournemouth nights. It's been something really special, and the fights have matched the atmosphere. What will it be like at the stadium? Yeah,
it'd be incredible. So many memories there as a 12, 13-year-old season ticket holder, dreaming of playing on the pitch one day, but my feet weren't quite as good as my hands, unfortunately, so I've had to find another way to get my dream to come true. And my dream now is to obviously win a world title at the stadium. I get to do that on May 27th.
Come back to both of you, but I want to bring in Shane McGuigan. I mean, I teased it at the top there, and look, we're promoting a fight, but it's a statement of fact. You trained Lawrence to take him to the very top of the sport, and now you're training Chris to bring Lawrence down from the top of the sport.
Yeah, when you look at it like that, it's not, it seems a bit odd, but it's business. That's the way it is. Nothing against Lawrence. It's just he is a world champion, and he's a domestic world champion, so that makes more sense than Gulamari and or Opteo, and both of them. We tried and we didn't succeed, but we got the fight. We sat on a call with John Wish before the fight. We said this David Light guy's only going to go 3 or 4 rounds, see if he's ready for May the 27th. The fact that it went longer, we were expecting him not to be able to deliver that, but fair dues to Lawrence and getting that fight.
Is it a fair question to ask you what you made of Lawrence's performance against David Light?
He wants sound bites. No, I don't think it was the best performance. But we're not preparing for that. We're preparing for the best Lawrence Okolie, and that's the one that I feel like was in our gym for 3 years.
The Lawrence Okolie that was in the gym, can you just give us a window into those sparring sessions? All of these big fights recently have been built on sparring rumours and who did what, but when you've got 300, 350 or between 300 and 500 rounds to base on, you must have seen things in Lawrence, weaknesses that you feel that Chris can capitalise on, otherwise you wouldn't have presumably put Chris forward in the fight.
We took it straight away, and he's got multiple strengths. He's 6'5", got 6'9" its reach, can punch with either hand. He's physical, he's athletic. I believe he's the best cruiserweight on the planet for now. But for every strength there's a weakness, and I believe we will devise a plan to beat him.
Did you No, I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one. Do you have a message for each other, Lawrence? What do you want to say to Chris? I know, for a long time, you probably didn't think this fight was going to happen, and you were looking around for the other champions. And when you saw that there was a date there to fight Chris, what were your feelings towards it? Were you happy? And did you think that Chris would take the opportunity to fight you?
Which one? But I didn't think that the fight was going to happen. If I'm honest with you, I didn't think the fight would take place on that date. But the reality is I rate Chris as a fighter, and also even for taking the fight, because I know those other fighters that were and ahhing about taking the fight with him and taking the fight with myself. And you know, as Shane and as they both basically said, they both were up for the fight. So you know, although I was the one pushing for it, it's good that's happening.
Sugar Hill isn't here today, but do you believe that there's still more to come between that new pairing of yourself and Sugar Hill? You've only had the one fight together, which was the David Light fight.
Yeah, of course. I think as soon as you start a new job or a new area, there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be lessons learned. We went out, we had 12 rounds last week or 9 days ago. So we've got a lot to kind of work with. So we both know what we need to work on in the gym and what works well. I think a lot of times it takes maybe a fight or different sparring sessions for coaches to kind of realise what a fighter needs and what I need from Sugar and what Sugar needs from me. So I'm really excited about these next few weeks. I think, you know, as much as we can sit here and be civil and stuff like that, I know what this fight means to Chris, I know what this fight means to myself, and I know what I'm going to have to put my body through over the next 7 weeks. Same with Chris is, like as Shane said, the performance the other day against David Light, it was me coming back after a year. It was me watching David Light knowing that I should win quite easily. Where with Chris, I know, you know, we've had some spars, a lot of spars as we've just said, and I know, you know, what kind of fight I expect this to be. As we've seen from all of Chris's fights, they're all good action-packed fights with a lot of punches exchanged. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you, as much as I like Chris, I'm actually looking forward to being in that type of fight.
You gave yourself a low mark out of 10 in the ring on the night. Do you think that performance has enticed people to want to get in the ring with you and perhaps drawn out a couple of people from the long grass? Not saying Chris at all, but certainly would have got confidence from that performance?
No, absolutely not, because there's people like Richard Riakporhe that we've said, yo, we'll fight you next, and people are not having it. We're champions, the same with Chris looking for champions. I've been looking for champions, but I've got a belt, so you should be more up for fighting me in unifications. No one really wants to fight. That's why, as I said, I rate Chris, because Chris hasn't shied away, Shane hasn't shied away. Obviously, they have the advantage of doing loads of rounds with me, so there's a bit of familiarity with my style and stuff like that. But everyone knows on fight night, when you put the 10-ounce gloves on, it's very different, and I look forward to it.
Before we move to the undercard, Ben, it is a unique dynamic. Let me ask you about the atmosphere. I think you and I are in agreement that Bournemouth atmosphere and those certainly the summer fight week on the beach was something special. You're hoping for something similar again. The call is for Bournemouth fans to come out and see this fight.
Yeah, Isaac will remember it well. It's a tough environment to go into. What a fight that was, but this one is going to be something special. I mean, a world title. I think we brought the first televised boxing event to Bournemouth in the summer, and now we're at the stadium. It's credit to Chris, it's credit to everyone involved. I think this division with Richard Riakporhe also now primed for his world title shot that will be coming next. We've got Chris Billam-Smith fighting for his world title, Lawrence now active. It's fighters in their peak, in their prime. There's no excuses. They all want the same thing. The division is stacked. We've got Mikel Lowell against Isaac Chamberlain in an unbelievable British title fight as well. It's a special division, and hopefully it can be an example to the rest of boxing that the best should fight the best in their prime at the right times. And luckily, 3 of them are British, and we get to see it.
Yeah, credit to both of you for agreeing to it. We'll come back to the main event, but let's talk the undercard. Let's start with Mikel Lowell, British champion. Worked hard to get that belt, and I'm sure you're going to want to keep hold of it. You and Lawrence had quite an interesting post-fight interview where he came and got involved. Set this fight up for us. How much are you looking forward to it, and how highly do you rate Isaac?
Yeah, I'm happy, man. Can't wait for this fight. Obviously, I saw it as disrespect when he came up to me after the fight. Obviously, I was just happy to get through that fight, because obviously on the week of the fight I got sick, but I still pulled through, and I'm happy. But yeah, I can't wait to fight this guy and get him to respect me as well. That's it, really.
You say you saw it as a disrespect?
100%.
Why is that? You felt that was your moment?
Yeah, that was my moment. Like you just don't do that, innit? Like in the moment, he thought he saw something that maybe he could beat me in the moment or whatever. Obviously, when we fight, he's gonna have to prove that, and yeah, we're gonna see, innit?
We know that you've sparred because we came to the gym and filmed it all those years ago. If the fight is anything like the spar, we're in for a very entertaining night.
Exactly, yeah.
What does he do well and what does he do not so well, in your opinion?
He's got some good attributes and things like that, but obviously I'm working on it, and I'm going to have to expose him, innit, and show him what real boxing is about, do you feel me? It's not even just boxing, I'm talking about fighting, do you feel me? And I'm just going to beat him up, that's it.
Isaac, come straight to you for your response to that. Mikhail saw it as a disrespect, the call out. What do you make of that and what he just said there, that he's going to have?
He's chatting rubbish. Like I've already been preparing for this fight, you know, and when we was there, you didn't see it as a disrespect. We spud each other. It was all respect. So I don't know why you're coming with this disrespect talk right now. I don't understand it.
How fired up are you for this opportunity? The British title, it means so much to fighters. You're in touching distance now.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, a massive thank you to Mick Hennessy, my manager. A massive thank you to Ben Shalom as well for putting this all together. You know, even credit to Lawal, even though he thinks I disrespected him. Thank you for taking this fight. You know, we have literally 5 of the best cruiserweights in the country on this table, almost 5. So, you know, it's just showing everyone what we can do. So, you know, I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity.
You're injury-free now. That was a hard fight with Chris Billam-Smith, where you had your war wounds afterwards. You're all recovered and fighting fit now after a relatively solid recovery.
Yeah, all recovered. Everything is going great, you know, and we're in training right now preparing for Lawal. So everything is good.
What sort of Lawal are you preparing for?
We're preparing for the best type. Can't really say too much, but, you know, we're going to try and negate the stuff that he brings and work with what we've been working with Bobby and Connor, my coaches, and just go from there.
Do you remember those sparring sessions? They were very, very entertaining, high-paced, full of drama.
Can't lie, it was over 5 years ago. A long time ago, man. Talk about sparring session from 5 years ago.
He knows why he can't remember it.
Pardon?
You know why he can't remember it, innit?
Explain yourself.
No, you know, innit? Release the footage. Release the footage. You feel me?
You want me to release? I'll release the footage.
Yeah, release it then.
Tonight.
Yeah, okay, cool. Do that.
Yeah?
Do that.
Okay. I like how you're talking.
I said do that, innit?
All right.
How highly do you rate his punching power, Isaac? I'm not putting you in a one-trick pony category. We know you can box as well, but it's undeniable that the record shows that you can punch. How highly do you rate his punching power, Isaac?
Obviously, he can punch, but, like, everyone in the division can punch. Look at the weights that we're in. And to be honest, the people that he's been knocking out, flipping 2 wins and 47 losses. Like, I don't know where you're going there. Like, with 2 weeks' notice, bro. Not even 2 weeks, flipping 2 days. Like, I don't know where you're going with this, bro. All right, this is a different level, fam. That's what I'm saying. It's a different level here, bro.
All right, say no more.
No disrespect to the British title at all, but do you both have dreams above that? Do you think that your ceiling is above British level? Come to you first, Isaac.
Yeah, of course. You know, that's what we're really trying to get. I'm trying to be the best that I can be, and grabbing this British title is a stepping stone to get to where I want to be.
You tried to step up, but you couldn't step up, so you had to step back down, innit?
Have you ever stepped up?
No, I'm trying to step up now. I'm on my way up. Okay. We're stepping back down, innit?
All right. Keep that energy.
No, it's the same energy I'm going to keep on the night, bro.
All right. I hear you.
Mikhail, do you see Isaac as a
no pulling out, yeah?
Look at this guy, bro.
No pulling out. Don't pull out. Don't say you have something, you have a cold. Don't pull out. Don't say none of these things. Okay?
What do you say?
Don't pull out.
I'm not going to pull out.
All right.
Don't worry about that.
Cool.
Yeah, what do you say? What's the question?
You said I'm stepping up now. Do you see Isaac as a step up?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's definitely a step up. I think I think he's going to bring the best out of me, and that's it, man. But obviously, I'm looking to fight this guy, and with whatever I can do, man's going to just find a way to beat this guy, and that's what's going to happen on the night. Do you feel me?
Before I get a final message from the two of you, I have got to ask you, Isaac, you've shared the ring with both main event fighters. Do you have a prediction for that fight?
Honestly, I actually don't know, because I fought both of them at 2 different times in my career. So it's going to be very difficult. Both of them have great attributes. Both of them are very good fighters. So definitely can't wait to watch this fight holding the British title.
Do you have a final message for Mikhail?
See you soon, man.
Same to you, Mikhail. Do you have anything else to say to Isaac?
I just can't wait, innit?
Ben, that's a great fight. You must be happy that is chief support on the undercard to this massive world title fight.
Yeah, and for me, what it does show is fighters should not be scared of losing. Isaac Chamberlain is still here. He'll have reasons for why he lost against Lawrence. He'll have reasons after being out for so long as to why he feels he lost to Chris. But he's here and he gets the big fights, and that's what boxing is about. Fighters should not be scared of going into the big fights, because there's always an opportunity around the corner. And Mikhail Lowell, from a tournament, winning a tournament and fighting up the hard way, is now here defending his British title on a show like this. It's a special story, and the division gets better and better. And I know Richard Riakpo will be sat at home watching this right now and can't wait to get in the mix as well. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Let's just have one final message from the two main event fighters. Chris, I'll let you go first as the challenger. What's your final message to Lawrence?
Yes, stay injury free, and bring. I know what Lawrence is going to bring on fight night, and that's what we're preparing for. We've seen the best Lawrence Okolie up close in the gym, so that's the one we're preparing for.
We know that the Bournemouth fans are so central to everything that you do. Do you have a message for them as well? It'd be a huge weekend down in Bournemouth with the run-in to the relegation battle as well for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, Ben mentioned it earlier about last summer and how we've turned it around from last summer to the stadium, and he obviously, there's a lot of people involved with the club and stuff, but it's down to the fans. It's a huge thanks to them. They're unbelievable fans. They support me, me against Isaac. And I know they've got a lot of love for Isaac, so I'm sure they'll be cheering for him on the night as well. So it'll be just an amazing atmosphere, and I just can't wait. But thank you to all the fans.
And if I pushed you for a prediction?
Chris Billam-Smith knockout.
Lawrence, the same series of questions. How do you think that you'll feel in front of a hostile crowd? Get the impression with the fights that we work with you that you thrive off of a crowd. If they're for you or against you, it's the atmosphere that you buzz off.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Obviously, you don't know until the day, but I think obviously they all know what I'm like as a person and a character. It's not going to faze me in the slightest. I do understand what happens, when someone lands a shot. It's going to help Chris, because obviously there's going to be some sticky moments in the fight, and them screaming and stuff might be enough to rally him through. But we'll see on the night. The
booing won't bother you?
No, I mean I got booed in my last fight, so it's all good.
Have you got a final message to Chris?
Not a personal one, do you know what I mean? But just as a boxer, train hard. I'm coming, and I'm really coming, because for me this is bigger than just me and Chris. I see Adam Nazim in the crowd, one of my favourite up-and-coming fighters, and it's obviously Shane there as well, a great coach who helped me win a world title. So there's so much at stake on a personal level for me as well. So I'm going to make sure that the same way they're going to be training, I'm going to be doing much more, and I'm going to show them, who I really am.
And your prediction?
On the day. It's hard, because I said I'll knock out my last two guys, and I haven't. So I'm going to save the prediction for a little bit closer. I'll see how I feel. Obviously, I'm going to win. But I haven't seen Chris knocked out before, so it's a tough one. I don't know yet.
And doesn't bother you that he thinks he can knock you out?
No, I mean, of course, he knows he can't win a points decision against me, especially when I'm in great shape. So the best way for someone like Chris to fight me would be to maybe either be too far out and hope that I fall in, or would be to get on my chest and work. Both I'll be very prepared for, and at the same time, I punch hard enough for a lot of game plans to go out the window. But we'll see on the day once again.
Perfect. Well, all four of you, thank you. Best of luck in your training camps. We're going to break for head-to-heads now. Just one request. If everyone can stay in their seats, just because the camera's at the back, But if we want to break now and bring our fighters forward, I think we'll start with the undercard, and then we'll work our way to the main event. Thanks very much, everyone.
I'm a hard animal to tame, so my son sitting on the train. Look, if my man's down, get up and get her. Max being up to untouch some Berettas. Never trust a boy, he's always the center. If I see her up, I bet I'm a wetter. New speed, I bet I change up the level. Make it rain, I bet
you know what, Johnny? I was really looking forward to this fight before we went on air today. And after that, I'm even more so, because I think particularly Okolie Billam-Smith, there's even more intrigue, don't you think, surrounding
without a doubt, he's very humble. He's very matter of fact. I like the straight talking, no nonsense. And he wasn't, he just said, "I'll get my job done. I'll see close to the fight." So yeah,
straight
created that
talking,
intrigue.
no nonsense. But between these two, between Mikael Lawal and Isaac Chamberlain. Isaac Chamberlain was doing his best, wasn't he, to stir the pot. Yeah. You can see he's trying to poke the bear.
Yeah, but Isaac has more experience. He's been there, he's been in bigger fights. He knows what he's capable of doing. He knows he's got the better boxing IQ, but he also knows that Lawal can punch. He's been in with the biggest puncher in the world, so he'll not be intimidated by Lawal's punch power. Especially when you're in against somebody like Deontay Wilder as a sparring
partner. But there is
partner.
a bit of pressure on Isaac Chamberlain to come back and get a win. I mean, do you not feel that?
Yes, he's got to, because he's had opportunities to box both the headliners. So now he wants to get in there and get the job done. And so he'll do what he's going to do.
No one wants to give an inch in this one, do they?
Yeah. And that's why I think as it gets closer to this one, these guys, this will get tasty.
Yeah.
I think this will... There's no love lost between these two here, because
it's a proper London derby, isn't it? This one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, the verbals are still going. What do you think they're saying to each other?
Isaac is a proper joker. He's a proper wind-up merchant as well. I know this young man personally knows exactly what to do, and he can cause trouble in an empty room. Lawal's bit already. He's bit. And Lawal's saying no nonsense, so but Isaac's great at winding fighters up. He's been around the world doing this.
But isn't this what what Chamberlain wants?
Exactly what he wants.
And
this is the experience of Lawal to say, you know what, you've walked straight into it. He's got you biting.
Still going on. If this is like this now, come 27th of May, when it actually goes down in Bournemouth, it could be another one of those, Johnny, that you're going to have to keep your emotions in check.
Yeah.
And for these two, that could be one of the things they need to focus on.
For Lawal, not for Isaac. Isaac does this for fun. This is what he does. This is the kind of kid he is. He's got a smile on his face, and Lawal, even all the way through, Lawal's like no nonsense. Isaac won't let it go. He'll be like one of those tormenting children, just to try and get under his skin. He's got him. He's beaten him.
Here we are, the main event. Lawrence Okolie, Chris Billam-Smith.
Chris has come dressed dapper.
I said to Chris before we went on, I was like, great suit, really smart. I mean, they just know each other so well. I mean, we spoke about how many rounds sparring before and sort of guessed there'd be a fair few, but over 300 they said. It's a lot of rounds to spar.
Familiar, No, Lawrence knows Isaac. Lawrence knows Chris is very strong, very determined, very stubborn, but he also knows there was a confidence issue with this young man coming through, so he wants to break his confidence. He doesn't want to be familiar with him, so he feels comfortable around him. Chris has got to get the job done. Look, Lawrence won't even play his game. He's killing him with kindness. Killing him with kindness.
There's a lot of respect, isn't there, between the two of them?
Yeah, there is, and that's what I'm saying with situations like this.
It's going to look so weird. We just popped up. We had to sit on the floor there while that was going on. Just realise how weird that must look on TV.
Yeah, got walked on. But yeah, Lawrence, he's playing the game right. Kills him with kindness. I'm your friend. Don't worry about it until the fight comes.
Can we read too much into when he was asked the question by Andy, what's going to happen? Will you be going for the knockout? And he didn't want to give that prediction. He wanted to wait till close to the fight. Can we read into that too much? Or
no, you listen. I've been in that situation. Yeah. If you like somebody, but you're going to fight, you're going to have to hit the switch at some point. So you don't want to turn it nasty. You don't want to turn it. Chris is going to do that because this is his chance. This is his first crack at fighting for a world title. So Chris is thinking, I've got to come smart. I've got to do what I think has to be done. Lawrence is there now. Lawrence is thinking, I know you. I'm familiar with you. I know what I can do with you. Is it confidence? Maybe. Is it arrogance? Maybe. But he knows for a fact that he's just got to keep everything in check, get the job done.
In terms of trainers, here we go.
Yeah.
I'll save that question for a little bit later because Lawrence Okolie's come to join us. That's right. We were talking about you. I'm very much looking forward to this one. We've got to talk about the friends thing. Very obvious up there that there's a lot of respect between the two of you, and rightly so because you've been in the gym with each other for a very long time. How Johnny says about the switch, you're going to have to find the switch to flick when you go into the fight on the 27th of May. When is that going to happen, and how does that happen for you?
I don't really have a switch. It just is what it is. I'm going to go into training camp and I'm going to train to do what I'm meant to do on the day to win. I'm not really someone that changes into a different person. If Chris came and slapped me now, I'll defend myself. On the day, I'm going to defend myself same way.
Is it difficult, though, fighting someone that you know so well and you've sparred so many rounds with?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all, no. It's obviously, as a person, I don't want to damage him, past the fight, but I definitely want to say, we both want to, it's competition, you can be friends with someone, but it's competitive.
Did it surprise you that Chris predicted a knockout, or do you think he's just going through the naive motions, saying that, coming dressed dapper, he's on the point? Do you just think he's going through emotions?
No, it's just that's what he's meant. It's what he's meant to say, and you have to believe that.
Is he that kind of guy?
What to what?
To say that he's going to knock you out. That
he's trying to be realistic with himself. He's not going to beat me on a 12-round decision because I'm very athletic. I'm very fit. I hardly lose rounds when you watch my fights. So for him to win, he's going to have to really get the shots off to try and get the KO. So he's not going to predict a 12-round decision. So I expect that.
I mean, it's going to be good to see you out again so soon after David Light. I think you gave yourself, was it a 6 out of 10, it, after the fight?
Maybe 5 or 6, yeah. 6 would be reasonable, yeah.
Okay. What did you learn from that fight?
Just in terms of training with sugar, stuff that we need to incorporate, because I think a lot of it was down to conditioning, being out of the ring for a while, remembering what actual competitive fighting is like compared to sparring. So in sparring, it's not saying it's easy, so sparring good guys, but there was a certain attitude towards it, boxing, but I need to go in there and get beasted. Do you think it's going to take time to sort of settle with him a bit more and get used to each other? There's obviously it's a long process.
And that works both ways, I guess, doesn't it, for you and for Sugar?
Agreed. So he saw what I was like in the back room, he saw what I was like in the corner, and he knows. And we spoke straight after the fight. We spoke days after. We've been speaking all week, and he knows what we have to do.
So
what could Shane tell him?
You beat me to it.
Oh, is that the question? What could Shane tell him? What insight could Shane give him?
Shane knows me, do you know what I mean? You give him everything.
But is that not advantage to Chris then?
It would be, but at the same time, I believe in myself more than I believe in Shane as a trainer. So it is what it is. You can tell him everything, but the actual reality of doing something is very different. You can say, do this, do that. All you have to do is, and then when it gets to the day, and then certain stuff's happening to you, it's very different to do certain things. I.e., you're going to get a knockout against me. You have to take shots, and it's how people react when they take my shots is very different from how you imagine. When they imagine, the last guy I boxed with him, imagine the whole camp. I'm going to get on Lawrence's shot and I'm going to do this and that and I'm going to catch him. Then you watch another fight where whatever you think about it, I hardly took any damage. I'm ready to fight a week later. It is what it is, same again. So I'm sort of reading between the lines from what you're saying there. Is that they could almost read into too much of what you've done in the past and get hung up on that? No, I'm saying that they can know everything about me and it's not going to stop what happens on the day. That's what I'm saying.
What's your relationship like with Shane? You've discussed what your Shane relationship like with it's good. It's no
like I said, everything's good. It almost feels awkward for me, but I know what the job is. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, in reality, in the gym, they'll be saying, get him, blah, blah, blah. I know what it is. Same way, me and all my team are saying the same thing. Like, it's all good. I don't want to get disrespectful because I like him, but I know what I'm going to do over the next 7-8 weeks, and I know what my plan is on the night. It's not to be his mate. I'm going in there to do what he meant to do.
So as his mate, and you know what you can do, if you've got the opportunity to knock him out, would you knock him out, or would you think, you know what, I like you? So
it's impossible. The moment that, like I said, the opportunity to stop him is going to come, and as long as I'm the version of myself I expect to be, I'm going to take it. Like, it's as simple as that. It's not for me as well. It's like, this is the most important fight of my life. Like, obviously every fight is, but this one means more because at the end of the day, because of the respect I have for them and the competition aspect of it, I want it more than I wanted any other fight. So it is what we're going to see anyway.
There were you spoke up there about there have been a few boos when we saw you against David Light, and you are walking into the aren't you in Bournemouth? You are very much in Chris's backyard. Is that going to fuel you? I know you said it there, like it doesn't really bother you whether it's boos or cheers. I'm sure
by now, I mean, I've had 19 fights. I think people must realise I don't really care like about any of this stuff. It's just I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my job. But this job has to be done in a very specific way. I know Chris, I know Shane. There's certain stuff I cannot get away with in this fight. So the stuff that I have to do...
Like what? Can you give us an insight?
I can give some insight. So, for example, against Chris, it's nearly impossible to fall in on your shots and then tie him up because he's got such good mid-range punching. So as you tie him up, he'll be chopping in right hands, chopping body shots, 2 to the body, 1 to the head, and he'll be grafting. On top of that, he'll be at home. So he's going to have 10, 11, 20, however many thousand people in there, every time he lands a shot, spurring them on.
And also, if you go into the trenches, they're there to sort of help
him on. But at the same time, like for me, I'm just like I don't know what the PC version of it is, but I'm not a coward or a trick. Like it's like I didn't get to this place by getting watered down or getting like outmanned. It's just not. It's not what they hope's going to happen. They're going to see another side of me on this particular fight. It's like because I'm up for it. I'll be honest with you. Not saying I haven't been up for my other fights, but I've just been like. It's so easy for me, without being funny, it's like I had a year out the ring, I went through whatever I went through, and then I did a camp with Sugar, and then I went in and won 12 rounds. Whatever you have to say about it, I haven't come close to losing a fight ever. This one, however, it's a very different energy, because I know what Chris is like, I know how Chris trains. Chris is a hard trainer, he's dedicated, he puts it all on the line. On the day, he's going to come and he's going to put it all on the line. There's no... And also, one more thing, sorry. It's a childhood dream of his, and I'm not into fairy tales for other people. I'm into my own fairy tales, so I need to stamp out his dream.
Yeah, you're here to ruin the party, essentially.
But respectfully, I'm here to ruin the party.
Yeah, mate, got a dream. Sorry, that's gone.
What's his weakness?
His weakness? He hasn't got many. I'll be honest with you. He's like a solid all-rounder. I think the weakness, it's not his weakness, it's more my strengths over his strengths. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I've got more range, more athletic ability. I maintain. I don't want to say too much. I don't want him to work too hard.
So everything he can do, you can do.
Everything he can do, I can do, and also I can disrupt his stuff more than he can disrupt my stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot on the line for you, not just in terms of world title, but also, like you say, there's pride. There's all sorts like
Agreed.
that. Are you feeling the pressure a little bit? No.
But it's like 8 weeks away. I can't feel the pressure now. It's not like this. We're at a press conference. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Mr. Sky. So, Sky Nelson.
All right, don't worry.
Right. So I can't feel any pressure right now because I don't have to do anything. I'm about to go get on a taxi to wherever. I'm going to eat food. I'm going to train. It's going to be a normal day. The pressure's on the day, and we'll see how I handle it then.
Are you looking beyond this at all? Have
always.
You got yeah.
Always. I always look like not past fights, but like, you know what I mean. I have to keep myself more like I'm motivated on the task. But the problem that I think I have sometimes is that. I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm happy to be somewhere. As in, like, the world title, I've won the world title, I'm defending it. It's like I have to say,
you mean the bars there, you get it.
Yeah, I get this job done, there's more to happen. Like, I'm still young, I guess, at 30, like, do you know what I mean? So,
Like what? Can we probe you and see sort of what the plan is?
I would love to go up to heavyweight and win a world title. However, if I can't beat Chris...
When would that roughly be? When
I'm genuinely starting to get to the point where I'm just looking at the landscape, and I keep asking myself, every time I finish the fight and I ask, oh, what's the unification saying? And it's no. And I'm chatting to the champions in the DMs, every other reason except for yes. You look at people like Riakpo, he's another domestic thing. When I actually go and say, let's make these fights happen, I don't. It's all good having a scuffle in a cinema, but when it's time to let's do it, I'm gonna try win a world title. I'm gonna do that. So for me, like, these guys are getting boring, and it's like, whatever you want to say about me, I've never said no to a fight. I've always won, and I'm always ready to put it on the line. So we'll see.
Roughly timescale though, you're not.
Sorry.
Not
Timescale.
sure
Sorry, I'm run out. I would say depends on how this fight goes in terms of making weight, etc., and then after that we'll see.
It's good to see you haven't changed. You're still like very laid back and backstroke in life. Taking it all in your stride. I'm very much looking forward to this one and looking forward to the build-up and see how it all pans out as well.
I'm excited for Shane. That's what I'm like.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Shane's a great coach, but I believe in myself. So I'm really... Because obviously it's going to mean a lot to everyone.
Is this student against the master then?
That's what it feels like to me. Although it's about me and Chris, it's an extra layer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's an extra. Let's be honest. It's an extra layer
because there's a relationship between a previous.
And you know what it is at the same time, like win, lose, draw, whatever happens, I'm still going to support the McGuigan gym. So there's Adam Nazim there, there's Hassan Nazim, there's Ellie Scott, there's the Bois, all of them. I'm still fans and supporters of them. So the next time I see them fight, I want to still go there as a champion and be like, oh yeah, I beat Chris, but it's all love, as opposed to the other way. Oh mate, Chris, well done. Like, no, F them. Like, sorry, like yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure, there's definitely going to be handshakes afterwards, isn't there? There's
for sure. I mean, we had a hug there. Hopefully there's no hugging on the night. I'm going to really work on putting in...
As in the holding?
The holding. Well, to be honest, it really depends on Chris, because if Chris wants to hide under my arms, that's what's going to happen. But I think Chris is going to go for mid-range, because what people don't realise in my fights is that when people either go from too far and dive in trying to get on my chest, I don't think Chris is going to want to be on my chest. He's going to want to be like how far we are, like mid-range punching. So it creates opportunities for me to also punch. When you see, actually, I can go through all my fights. When you see the ones that try to box with me, we see what happens. So, yeah.
It's what we kind of said earlier on.
Huh?
Yeah. It's what we kind of said earlier on. It's creating that distance. But again, I think it's that distance. He's either got to close that distance down so Lawrence doesn't get the power off. Who's strong on the inside? Who's strong on the outside? I think you're strong on the outside because you've got that natural punch power. And his most comfortable place is as close to you as possible.
I don't think he's stronger than me physically though, which is another part of the sport. He's got much better punching on the close range, but physically I don't think he'll be able to get the shots off because it's a physical sport. So I'm excited to show you guys what I'm talking about.
I'm excited for this too.
I really am, and also the British title fight between Lowell and Chamberlain, because you guys were very respectful up there, but it got a bit tasty, didn't it, between those two? Are you looking forward to that one?
Very much so. I think it's a good fight. I've sparred Lowell before, and I've boxed Chamberlain, obviously, and I've watched his fights. I've watched his career since our fight.
And what do you think?
What do I think of the fight? It's a great fight. Don't get me wrong. I just think that it's a 12-rounder.
It's a British title as well, which always produces the goods, doesn't it?
I don't want to get myself into trouble in the next press conference, but I'm going to not sit on the fence. I don't like. So I believe that Chamberlain should be the favourite.
Do you think that the experience that he has,
the experience in 12-round wars, 10-round wars, he's had against Chris. He's had experience headlining a show against myself.
Yeah.
He's headlined on Channel 5, and he's got the experience factor. Mark Lowell is an extremely explosive puncher. I've sparred him. He's extremely explosive. And it depends on his conditioning.
Unbeaten as well.
It depends on his conditioning, because one thing you know about Isaac's going to be there 12 rounds. He's got a good chin. So I think he should be the favourite. Yeah.
I think that one's going to get even more tasty, though, in terms of the war of the words.
Yeah, agreed,
as the weeks go on, because
I do
Chamberlain was doing his best, wasn't he, to stir that pot today and to get in his head. I actually think
he was trying to negate it, but they both don't want to, really. In all honesty, I think it's going to be a good fight, to be honest, because both of them stylistically are very good mid-range punchers, so they're going to have a good tear-up.
Well, we're very much looking forward to that one, and looking forward to seeing you out there again. What's the plan? Are you sort of training-wise jumping straight back in?
I'm probably going to train myself for this fight.
Not with Sugar Hill?
I'm joking. No, I'm
We thought you were just dropping a clanger in there before you went. That was a mic drop moment.
I'm off tomorrow. I think the flight's ready booked. I'm off tomorrow. Yeah, same as always. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to go, I'm going to train, I'm going to bring in the best sparring partners. I'm going to push myself very hard. Not overdoing it because you don't want to get injured. And then I'm going to come to Bournemouth. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to be in the change room. I'm going to walk you through it. Have I got time to do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do a training camp. 7 weeks. I've just had a fight, so my weight's not too high. I'm able to get right back into it. I'm going to push myself every day. I'm going to rest once a week. And I'm going to do 2 or 3 sessions a day on all the other days. I'm then going to taper down on fight week. We're going to get to the fight. We're going to do a press conference. We'll do all the same stuff as well. Me and Richard are going to, not Richard, me and Chris are going to look at each other.
Billam-Smith.
We're going to make the eye contact. We're going to look. They're going to take cameras. We're going to go our separate ways. We're going to go fight day. I'm going to wrap my hands, or my hands are going to get wrapped. I'm going to be listening to music. They're going to say, you're out in 10 minutes. I'm going to say, okay.
And
9 minutes goes by. It's 1 minute to go. You're out in 1 minute. I'm saying, okay. I'm going to walk out. Or Chris is going to walk out first. The crowd's going to cheer. They're going to all be wearing black and reds. They're going to play the music of the Bournemouth club. It's going to be amazing. The atmosphere is going to be amazing. I'm then going to walk out next. Likely to booze. Boo. We hope Chris knocks you out. Whatever it is, I don't know. I'm going to play my ring music. I'm going to enjoy every moment, because the good and the bad, you have to enjoy every step of this journey because it's a short career. I'm then going to get into the ring. They're going to announce Chris. They're going to announce myself. I'll wrap it up. Come on, I'm enjoying myself. So anyway, yeah, long story short, we're gonna.
I just
Sorry,
feel like I'll
cool. Long story short,
Let's go.
we're gonna have it. Then the bell's gonna go, and then I'm gonna show everyone who I. It's like I've got a point to prove in this fight, so I'm gonna prove that point.
Looking forward to it, Lawrence. Didn't need to say a word.
That's a good story.
Yep, great having you here. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Do you
See you
think?
later.
Nice
See ya.
Do I get one here?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
My arm was aching then.
Are you still with us? Good. He's good spirits, isn't he?
He's relaxed. You can tell he's relaxed, and so.
But you can also tell that he's very aware of the situation, isn't he? The friendship thing, the relationship with Shane, his trainer.
Yeah.
That's very much, I think, on his mind. You can see that.
Yes, it is, and so I think you're giving yourself goals and challenges, and he's thinking, I want to outsmart Shane, who thinks he knows me. I'm going to outspar my mate, who I've sparred over 300 rounds with. So there's a lot of boxes he wants to tick, and he's got to think like a champion. He's thinking like a hungry, ambitious champion.
He said he didn't have that switch, didn't he? As in, like you said, he needs to find that switch to kind of switch from being friends with Chris, knowing him in the gym, to fighting him in the ring.
That could be.
I was about to say, could that be an issue?
Yeah, it could be detrimental because this fight might end up being harder than what he realised. So therefore, he's got to turn it on. He's got to put him under pressure.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'll hold it.
You've got to follow Lawrence, who's just talked to us about half an hour. Just gave him a mic and he just kept on talking. One thing that is very, very, very prevalent and plain to see between the two of you, and I spoke to him about it, the friendship. How are you going to put that aside?
Look, it's not like we grew up together or anything like that. It's not. We were gym mates. We didn't really hang around outside the gym at all. We both had different likes and things, but so it makes it easier. But also, it's business. Like, you're in the ring, and we've sparred. We've tried to take each other's heads off before with head guards, but now there's a lot more on the line. There's a world title and a future on the line. So it'll be very easy to tap into that when I'm thinking about what I'm doing it for.
And this is something for you that it's kind of what dreams are made of, really, isn't it? Vitality, world title. Is there pressure on you, or are you just kind of going to savour every moment and just basically nothing to lose, go for it?
No, look, there's huge amounts of pressure. There's a whole town. Like, as a whole town,
They're a great crowd. We are loving being in Bournemouth.
Yeah, they're phenomenal, and they're the reason we're able to do the stadium, because they're the ones that have turned out and made the shows what they are. You know, I go out and perform, but they were making a racket all night before I even got out there. So they've been superb, and there's a huge amount of pressure, whole town, but also all the Sky Sports viewers. You know, they want to see Lawrence lose because of recent performances. So I've got a whole nation of boxing fans that want to see me win as well. So there's a huge pressure on me, and I just invite that, and I can't wait to get in there and make them all happy.
Lawrence scored his last performance against David Light a 5 or a 6 out of 10. What would you score it, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, he still never looked like losing, did he? That's the thing. People give Lawrence a lot of stick because he's unpleasing on the eye, but he's never looked like losing in any of his fights. If he's knocking him out, he's knocking him out, and if he's winning on points, even if it's ugly, it's still wide. And he never looks, in a lot of trouble. So, and I want people to remember that, because you want the respect and the, that I'll deserve when I go beat him, because no one's even looked close to beating him. So, when I beat him, I want people to remember that before I beat him, he never looked close to getting beat.
He spoke about Shane, and that perhaps it will be difficult for Shane because he has a relationship with Lawrence, he knows him in the gym, and yourself. Do you think that will play into your advantage? Is it, or, you've got the advantage, I guess, of being at home in Bournemouth, you're at the Vitality, but also you've got Shane with you, who has trained Lawrence as well, and he's got the inside on both of you. So is that an advantage in your head, giving you an extra boost?
Yeah, I think so, and I think Lawrence knows that. I think he sees it, he will see it as an advantage in my court, and I think we've got 2 brains and 4 eyes that have been watching Lawrence for many years, so it's a lot of information we can process.
A brain and 4 eyes, not 5 cruiserweights up there. I thought they're missing you.
Look, we've got really good boxing brains, me and Shane, and we work as one. It's all, when our minds come together, we can devise really good game plans, and that's what we've been doing already. I think it's a massive advantage.
And you've got the momentum as well, and a brilliant performance in December that you're going into this on the back of. Is that giving you confidence as well, and how much confidence is that giving you?
Yeah, I think the knockout gives me confidence because it proves what I thought in the gym, and that's that I'm punching harder. I'd never knocked anyone out like that before, in terms of, he was out and it was a worrying time for a few minutes, but that just backed up what, my confidence, and that's improved even more since. My punch power and my fitness and all of that. I've been in camp since January, so knowing that May 27th was the date, so I've done plenty of building and easing into camp in terms of just turning up the notch gently, and now we're in full flow and ready to go.
You're never not in camp though, are you? Because you keep yourself in shape 24/7 pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
I
think apart from when the birth of my son was due, I was out of camp for quite a while then. But no, I try and stay in shape. But yeah, no, I've been in proper camp in terms of I've been up in London since middle of January. So it's we've been working hard. You
said up there that you think you can get the knockout against Lawrence Okolie. Yet he said he didn't want to give a prediction. He wants to wait till near the time. Are you reading into that at all? Are you?
No. Look, Lawrence he'll say what he wants when he wants to say it. And it's not reading into that at all. I just believe, and my prediction isn't a take on Lawrence, it's a take on where I'm at and how I'm feeling at the moment, and that's I'm 100% confident.
In terms of putting the friendship aside, are you going to have to find a switch to flick?
Every fight night I switch to flick. As soon as my hands are wrapped, I'm like a different person. There's a reason I don't let my wife in the changing rooms, because I don't want her to see me like that. I say bye to her on fight day and we go to the venue, and I'm still pretty chilled. And I think everyone in the changing room, Anthony Fowler said it once, he thought I was really nervous the first time he experienced a changing room with me. But it's because I just turned into a different person. I like to think I'm fairly kind outside the ring, but you can't be kind inside it. So I've got to flip that switch, and that's what I'm able to do.
Do you think that could be a difference there, Johnny?
I do. I said it could be to his detriment, and that's. I think Lawrence needs to take this serious, because it's very hard to change mindset, tactic mid-fight. You've got to go in there, respect who's in front of you, and have those nerves, good and bad, when you're in the ring. Because otherwise, when the fight's on, you've got somebody like a Tasmanian devil in front of you. It's just very hard to actually shut them down, to actually change your game plan, change your mindset.
It is going to be an electric atmosphere in there. Very much looking forward to seeing it. And as the weeks progress, any danger? Do you think we might get a little back and forth between the two of you, or do you think it will remain respectful to the end until you're in that ring?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, the prediction on the fights might people see needle there, but look, anything I say, you know, I respect Lawrence the person and all that, but I'm going in there and I'm going to knock him out.
I think it's the added spice because you saying that because you do know each other well and you kind of have come from the same gym. That I think is giving it the edge, isn't it, Johnny?
It does, but if you're professional enough, like these two guys are, I think they'll go in there and give it their all, and I think we'll have a very honest, good fight where you've got two fighters that are really, really hungry. It's not there's a bit of pride in there. There's pride in there, you know. So it's professional jealousy as well.
It's more than a world title, isn't it?
I'm sure I can do this. Yeah. And Shane's going to want to be able to make sure his man turns him over as well, because it reflects on Shane as well. So he's got to try and make sure this doesn't happen.
Best of luck, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, we'll see you over the coming weeks.
Nice one, mate.
You feel underdressed, don't you, when you stood next door to Chris in that suit?
Yes. That's nice. It's just nice to hear you. It's two contrasts. One's very laid back, one's very, you know, not paying much attention to it. And now that might be the persona that Lawrence wants to give us. And Chris is very professional about the job in hand.
They both are, though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. It's going to be a good fight.
It's a lot of intrigue. Very much looking forward to it. It's a great card, isn't it? That's it from us here in London today. But make sure you join us, because May the 27th at the Vitality in Bournemouth, it is going to be an absolute belter of a night. Put that date in your diary. We'll see you soon.